You are scooping the litter box tonight, exactly the way you do every night, and something makes you stop. There, stuck to the clump, are what look like tiny grains of white rice, and one of them is moving. Or maybe it was different for you. Maybe your cat threw up in the hallway, and in it there was something pale that looked like a short piece of spaghetti, and you have not been able to stop thinking about it since. I know that feeling, and I know the very next thought, because every single cat parent has it. How long has this been going on inside my cat, and how did I not see it sooner? What if I told you that one of the oldest, cheapest gut supports we have is sitting in the baking aisle right now for about $2? No harsh chemicals. No wrestling a tablet into a furious cat at 7 in the morning. Just one spoonful of something you can grind on your own kitchen counter tonight. And yes, there is real science behind it, and there is also a limit to it, and I am going to give you both. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Lucas Aoki, your neighborhood cat vet, and welcome back to the channel. Intestinal parasites are one of the most common things I diagnose in my exam room, and here is the number that shocks people. Depending on the region and the study, surveys keep finding roundworm eggs in the stool of somewhere between 20 and 30% of the cats tested, not sick cats. Cats who came in for a routine visit, looking perfectly fine. I already know what you are thinking. My cat never goes outside. My house is spotless. My friends, you are not a bad cat parent. Worms do not care about your housekeeping. And because cats are masters at hiding illness, a worm burden can quietly steal protein and calories for months while your cat looks completely normal. So today we are doing a complete masterclass, and we are moving fast. Grab a pen. What is actually living in there? What pumpkin seeds truly do and truly do not do? The exact preparation and dose for a 4 to 5 kilogram cat. Then a 7-day protocol, 1 day at a time. Hit that subscribe button to join our educated cat parent community, and let's dive right in. Before you put anything in the bowl, you need to know what you are fighting, because there are two very different enemies here. The first is the roundworm, Toxocara. Picture a thief who sits down at your cat's dinner table and eats first, every single meal. That is what a roundworm does. It floats in the small intestine and absorbs nutrients before your cat ever gets them. In an adult cat, you may see nothing at all. In a kitten, you see the classic picture, a swollen belly on a body that is far too thin. The second is the tapeworm, and this is the one you actually see. Those rice grains near the tail are segments, packed with eggs, and they come almost exclusively from one source. Fleas. Your cat grooms swallows one infected flea, and the tapeworm sets up shop. An owner sat in my clinic last month and said, "Dr. Lucas, this is impossible. She is an indoor cat." And I told her what I will tell you. Fleas ride into your home on your trouser leg. A single moth or spider your cat catches behind the sofa can carry parasites. And here is a difference from dogs that almost nobody knows. In dogs, roundworms can cross the placenta before birth. In cats, they generally do not, but they pass beautifully through the mother's milk, which is why nursing kittens are so often infected from week 1. Cats are not small dogs, even in the way they catch worms. Please hear this vet warning. If your cat has tapeworms, you have a flea problem, and treating only the worm means the worm comes straight back. And whatever you do, never ever reach for a dog flea product to solve it. Most of them contain permethrin, and permethrin on a cat causes violent tremors and seizures. That is a same-night emergency, and cats die from it every year. So where does a seed fit into all of this? Inside raw pumpkin seeds, there is a compound family called cucurbitacins. The proposed mechanism is beautiful in its simplicity. Cucurbitacin appears to interfere with the worm's muscle function, essentially loosening its grip on the intestinal wall. The parasite cannot hold on, and then the fiber in the pumpkin flesh does the second half of the job, sweeping the intestinal tract like a broom across a floor. Loosen the grip, sweep the floor, that is the whole idea, and humans have been using it for centuries. Now let me clear something up with 100% honesty, because this is where a lot of channels lose the plot. Most of the evidence for cucurbitacin comes from traditional use, from laboratory work, and from human and livestock trials. It is genuinely promising. It is not a licensed feline dewormer, and I am not going to stand here and tell you it is. But Dr. Lucas, my cat has visible worms right now. Can I just do this instead of going to the vet? No. And I want you to hear me on that. A cat with an active, visible infestation needs a proper veterinary dewormer, because those drugs are tested, dosed, and they work. What pumpkin does is everything around that. It supports the gut your vet just cleared out. It feeds the good bacteria. and it makes your cat's intestine a much less comfortable place to live in. Crucial warning: when people hear natural, they escalate the dose, thinking more must be better. With a cat's tiny body, more fiber is not a stronger cleanse. More fiber is diarrhea, dehydration, and a cat who refuses their bowl. Stay at the dose I give you. If you saw the thumbnail of this video, this is exactly what I was talking about, and the details here matter more than anything else I will say today. First, the pumpkin. You want 100% pure pumpkin puree and nothing else. Read the label. If it says pumpkin pie filling, put it back on the shelf, because it is loaded with sugar and spices including nutmeg, and if it says sugar-free anywhere, it may contain xylitol. You can also steam plain pumpkin at home, but it goes in naked. No butter, no salt, and absolutely no onion or garlic, ever. Second, the seeds. Raw, unsalted, unseasoned, plain. Not the roasted salted snack ones. And they must be ground fine, in a pestle or a small coffee grinder, because a whole seed passes straight through your cat without releasing a thing, and it is a choking risk on the way. Now the dose for an average 4 to 5 kilogram cat. Pumpkin puree, start at 1/4 teaspoon per day. Mix thoroughly into wet food and build up to a maximum of 1 teaspoon per day split across 2 meals. Ground seeds, start at 1/8 teaspoon and build to 1/4 teaspoon per day. That is it. That is the whole spoonful. Please hear this vet warning, and it is the most important one in this video. If adding the topper makes your cat stop eating, remove it immediately. A cat who does not eat for 24 to 48 hours can develop hepatic lipidosis, a liver crisis that is far more dangerous than any worm. Nothing you add is worth losing the meal. Budget trick. Freeze the leftover puree in an ice cube tray and thaw 1 cube at a time. Grind your seeds fresh every few days and keep them in the fridge, because those oils turn rancid quickly. Day 1. The gut reset. Pumpkin only, 1/4 teaspoon into the evening meal. Soluble fiber holds water and softens hard stool. Insoluble fiber adds bulk and gets things moving, which also helps carry swallowed hair through instead of straight back up onto your rug. One warning here that saves lives. If you see your cat straining in the litter box and producing nothing, do not assume constipation. In a male cat, that is a urethral blockage until proven otherwise, and that is an emergency tonight, not tomorrow. Day 2. The seeds go in. This is the parasite support day. Grind fresh, add 1/8 teaspoon to the food alongside the pumpkin. Watch the litter box over the next few days, but do not panic if you see nothing. Most of what leaves is invisible to the naked eye. Day 3. Calm the inflammation. Pumpkin seeds carry vitamin E, zinc, and linoleic acid. And here is a correction I need to make to what you may have heard on dog channels. Pumpkin seeds are not a meaningful omega-3 source for your cat. Cats convert plant-based fats into the useful marine forms very poorly. If you want true anti-inflammatory power for your cat that comes from a few drops of a proper fish oil kept in the fridge, started low. Day 4. Liver support. Soluble fiber binds circulating bile acids and feeds the good bacteria in the colon, and a healthy microbiome genuinely takes pressure off the liver. Now, I am not going to sell you a detox, but I will tell you why liver support matters more in a cat than in a dog. Your cat's liver is missing much of an enzyme pathway called glucuronidation, which is exactly why cats cannot process compounds that dogs shrug off. That liver is working with fewer tools. Anything that lightens its load is worth doing. Day 5. Hydration and the urinary tract. Pumpkin puree is roughly 90% water, and every extra drop counts. Because cats descend from desert animals and have a famously weak thirst drive. Chronic kidney disease is one of the great killers of senior cats. Honestly, though, the pumpkin is the passenger here. Wet food is the driver. Use this day to shift one more meal toward wet. Day 6. Weight and blood sugar. Fiber creates a feeling of fullness, and a cat who feels full begs less. But here is the feline truth. Overweight and diabetic cats do best on high protein, low carbohydrate food, not on a fiber-first approach borrowed from dogs. Pumpkin is a topper, never a meal replacement, and you must never crash diet a cat. Rapid weight loss is exactly what triggers that liver crisis I mentioned. Day 7. Skin and coat. Zinc supports wound healing and the skin barrier, and vitamin E protects the fats in the skin from damage. And now the myth I have been waiting all video to demolish. Every dog channel praises the beta-carotene in pumpkin, that beautiful orange pigment, and says it becomes vitamin A. In a dog, yes. In your cat, no. Cats lack the enzyme activity to convert beta-carotene efficiently, which is why they must get preformed vitamin A from animal tissue. Say it with me. Cats are not small dogs. The orange in that spoon is doing far less for your cat than the internet promised, and that is exactly why the meat in their bowl is never optional. So let's pull it all together. We covered the roundworm and the tapeworm and the flea that carries it. We covered cucurbitacin and the leucine and sweep mechanism. We covered pure pumpkin versus pie filling, raw unsalted seeds, ground fine, and the doses, 1/4 to 1 teaspoon of puree and 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of ground seeds for a 4 to 5 kilogram cat. Then 7 days, gut, parasites, inflammation, liver, hydration, weight, and coat. I can imagine you are feeling a little overwhelmed. So here is the golden rule. Never introduce everything at once. If you dump pumpkin and seeds and fish oil into the bowl on the same night, I promise you, you will be cleaning up diarrhea at 3 in the morning, and your cat will refuse that bowl for a week. The simplification formula: one new thing every 2 days at 1/4 of the target dose. That is it. 30 seconds of your evening. And now the part I owe you. If you are seeing worms in the stool right now, if your kitten has a swollen belly, if there is blood, weight loss, or vomiting that will not stop, this spoonful will not fix it. Your cat needs a fecal test and a proper dewormer from your veterinarian, because the species of worm determines the drug. Pumpkin is the support around real medicine, never a substitute for it. And if your cat is already past that line, you have not failed. You noticed. That is the whole job. One more thing. For your family. Roundworm eggs need days to become infectious after they are passed, which is why scooping the litter box every single day genuinely protects the children in your home. Scoop daily, wash your hands, and cover the sandbox outside. I want you to think about what you just did. You sat through 15 minutes of parasite biology on your own time for an animal who will never thank you for it. Most people would have scrolled past that thumbnail. The fact that you are sitting here educating yourself means your cat has the best parent in the world, and they will feel the difference in their body long before you see it. If this video helped you, please hit that like button. It helps tell the algorithm that safe veterinary advice is valuable, and it helps our channel protect so many more cats. Subscribe so you never miss our deep dives into your cat's health. And I have one question for you tonight. When was the last time your cat had a fecal test done? And are you starting day 1 tomorrow? Tell me in the comments, and tell me about your cat. I try to read every single comment. If you have a friend who insists their indoor cat cannot possibly have worms, share this with them. You might just change that cat's life. Give your cat a gentle chin scratch for Dr. Lucas tonight. Stay safe, always trust your instincts, and I will see you all in the very next video.